Most beginner investors don't lose money on the purchase, they lose it on the rehab. Not because they didn't budget, but because they budgeted for the wrong strategy. They thought they were doing a rental level rehab, but ended up spending like a rental flip. Or worse, they tried to flip a house with rental quality finishes, and it just sat. So today, I'm going to break down the rehab costs in a way most people don't. The real difference between fixing up a rental and renovating a property to sell on the retail market. Because if you don't understand this, you'll either overspend or undersell, and both cost you money. Welcome to Real Estate Simplified. I'm Bill Simmons. I've been investing in real estate since the 80s. Flips, rentals, multi-units, 30 plus years before I became a realtor. So I've learned a few things about the investor side. Let's get one thing clear right away. A rental rehab and a flip rehab are not the same thing. They might look similar on the surface, but the goal is completely different. For a rental, you want durability, function, and return on investment. For a flip, you have emotion, appearance, and buyer expectations. That's it. When you're fixing up a rental, you're asking, will this hold up over time? Is it safe and clean? Will it rent quickly? When you're flipping a house, you're asking, does this look amazing? Will a buyer fall in love with it? Does it compete with other homes on the market? Those are two different mindsets, and if you mix them up, you're going to spend money in the wrong places. Here's what I see all the time. A beginner buys a rental property and rehabs it like they're about to list it on the MLS. They install high-end cabinets, granite or quartz countertops, premium flooring, designer lighting, and then they rent it at the same price as a guy down the street who used laminate counters, durable flooring, basic fixtures. Same rent, different rehab cost. Guess who wins? Not the guy who spent more. That extra $10,000 or $20,000 you put into finishes, you don't get that back in rent, ever. Let's get practical. When you're rehabbing a rental, your focus is simple. Make it clean, safe, and durable. That's it. Here's what that looks like in real life. Flooring, luxury vinyl plank, or LVP, all day. Why? Durable, water resistant, easy to replace sections. Paint, neutral colors. Same color throughout if possible because it cuts costs and simplifies maintenance. Kitchen, functional cabinets, not custom. Laminate or entry-level solid surface countertops. Clean, working appliances, not luxury. Bathrooms, simple, clean, easy to maintain. No fancy tile work unless needed. Basic, modern, consistent. Nothing that screams cheap, but nothing high-end. Here's the mindset shift. Tenants don't pay for upgrades. They pay for cleanliness, functionality, location. That's what drives rent. Now let's talk about flipping. This is where most investors underestimate cost because retail buyers are different. They're not comparing your property to rentals. They're comparing it to every other house or sale in that price range. And those houses, they've been staged, updated, polished. So now your rehab must compete. Here's what buyers are looking for. Kitchens that sell the house. Quartz or granite countertops, updated cabinets or refinished to look new, modern backsplash, stainless steel appliances. Bathrooms that feel new. Tile work, updated vanities, clean modern finishes, flooring that feels cohesive, consistent flooring throughout, curb appeal, landscaping, exterior paint or updates, clean entry, the wow factor. This is big. Buyers make emotional decisions. They walk in and think, I could live here, or they don't. And if they don't, it sits on the market. Here's the truth most people underestimate. Flip rehabs cost more because you're selling to emotion, not logic. A tenant will overlook small imperfections. A buyer, they won't. They're walking through with agents, inspectors, family members, opinions, and every small issue becomes a discussion. That means your rehab has to be tighter, cleaner, more polished, which means more labor, better materials, more detail work, and that adds up fast. Let me give you a simple example. Same house, two different strategies. Rental rehab, flooring $3,000 for LVP, paint $2,000, kitchen refresh $4,000, bathroom cleanup $2,500, miscellaneous repairs $3,500, total $15,000. Flip rehab, flooring $6,000, paint $35,000, full kitchen upgrade $12,000, bathroom remodel $8,000, fixtures, lighting, details $5,000, exterior curb appeal $5,000, total $40,000 plus. Same property, very different outcome. And here's the key. Both can be profitable if you match the rehab to the strategy. This is where deals fall apart. Over rehabbing a rental, you spend too much, rent doesn't increase, return on investment drops. Under rehabbing a flip, property doesn't show well. Buyers hesitate, price drops or sits. Both are mistakes, and both come from the same problem, not being clear on your exit strategy from day one. Here's something contractors understand that investors often don't. Details cost money. Anyone can do basic work, but when you start asking for perfect tile lines, clean trim work, smooth finishes, high-end installs, labor costs go up, time goes up, and mistakes get expensive. That's why flip rehabs are not just a little more expensive, they're often significantly more expensive because the expectation is higher. Before you're even close on a property, you should already know, am I holding this as a rental or selling it as a flip? Because that decision controls everything: your budget, your materials, your timeline, your profit. If you're unsure, that's a red flag. You're setting yourself up to make emotional decisions later. And here's something most investors don't plan for. Your rehab or for a flip, market shifts, house doesn't sell, sits too long. Now you're forced to rent it. If the rent doesn't cover your cost, you're now feeding that property every month. So you need to know, if I had to rent this, would at least break even. Every flip should have a rental backup plan, even if you never use it. Here's a rule that will save you money. Don't build for yourself. Build for the end user. If it's a rental, build for durability and ease of maintenance. If it's a flip, build for appeal and competition. That's it. Simple. But most people don't follow it. Let me give you a few traps I've seen over and over. Mixing strategies mid-project. You start as a rental, then think, maybe I'll sell it. Now you're upgrading halfway through. Costs explode. Letting contractors upsell you, while we're here, we could upgrade this. That adds up fast. Stay focused. Underestimating holding costs on flips. Longer rehab equals more interest, taxes, utilities. Time is money. Ignoring neighborhood standards. You don't need a luxury rehab in a middle class area. And match the market. Before you begin any rehab, ask yourself, what is my exit strategy? What level of finish does this strategy require? What does the market expect at this price point? Am I adding value or just adding cost? If you can't answer those clearly, pause, because this is where most mistakes happen. Here's the bottom line. Rehab costs don't kill deals. Wrong rehab decisions do. If you understand the difference between rental rehabs and flip rehabs, you're already ahead of most investors. Now, if you're in the Omaha or Southwest Iowa area and you want help walking through a deal, estimating rehab costs, or deciding the best strategy, I'm always happy to take a look with you. No pressure, no sales pitch. Just real world advice based on what actually works. And if you want more breakdowns like this, hit the thumbs up and make sure you subscribe, because I focus on the stuff that actually protects your money, not just the highlighted reel. I'll see you in the next video.